for me to feel like I can believe something, it's like there needs to be parts of it that at the core that I feel like I'm just relating to. So it's more about that. It's more about like what can we do for these characters that we can actually relate to, and so, you know, the more in that process where we can bridge that line of visuals and this character development, you are able to solve that better. Characters that are supposed to be like out of this world, that didn't come from here. You know, it's like Thanos, for example. They're obviously from different planets, but if you push them way out there, and you might push them in a way where you did a lot of thinking about it, where it's like, yes, from this planet, the weight would be so far off from how we are here on Earth, how his skin is, maybe how it retains water differently. You're starting to get into all the like just world building side of it, and what makes sense from a scientific level. And so we do go there. That's part of the visual development. But at the same time, if you stay there too long, you end up just, again, it's like you did a problem solving thing, right? You didn't get to the side of like, well, what's going to connect with the audience, because they're not going to relate to any of this. You know, what side of it? It can be as much as like, yeah, he has all that, but he's still holding on to this little bracelet that his mom gave him or something. What is it about that character that you can relate to, especially when it's so far out there? And sometimes those are things where you have to play back and forth. Like, well, how far out is he? How much do we need help with to kind of get some understanding and some relational part to this character? So I think when I'm thinking like believing in, it's really relating to, you know. Superman was kind of the character for me growing up. You know, first of all, he was invincible. He couldn't get hurt except for kryptonite, you know, which I always thought was too easily used. He just had so much going for him. But one of the things I related to was he was from another planet. He was from somewhere else, and he also felt like he didn't fit into this world. But he had something special that people didn't know about, and he kind of kept it to himself. But that was part of survival here. And I related to that on a level of just like, you know, being the only Asian kid growing up in a small town in Indiana, and holding on to kind of these little fantasies, you know, and living in that world for a little while. I mean, during a certain age of time that I was going through a lot of changes, and you know, school was difficult to try to get accepted by other kids, and you look completely different from everybody else. It was just a great way to a great escape, you know, and not only just an escape, but just I felt like that was actually a big part of my development of how I think now, was kind of feeling like, okay, no, I relate to these characters, and I spent a lot of time there. So in a way, it's like I felt like being able to empathize on this kind of make-believe world really helps in what I do now, if that makes sense.